Hello, class of 2020. I just wanted to say congratulations on your graduation. And I also wanted to thank you for being a wonderful class of people. You're graduating in the year 2020. What wonderful numbers. How could you not be wonderful? But whether you were just bringing me a piece of paper to sign in my classroom, a lot of you guys did a lot of my walking for me this past couple of years. And or I passed you in the hall, or whether you were in my classroom and you put up with my bad jokes, or I scared you with tests and things. I just want to say I'm thankful. I'm thankful to know you. I'm thankful to have participated in your life, even in that small area. And I wanted to take a moment to share some experiences that I've had and some of the blessings that God has given me, because it's the blessings from the past that remind us that we can trust God to take care of the future. And so I was talking to a student just a couple of days ago, chatting through Remind, and he apologized to me for not being the best student. And I was giving him some advice of how to do better, like when he goes on to college. And he apologized for disappointing me, and I wanted to just share with you my thoughts on that as a teacher. When I was finishing my courses for my math degree, one of my last classes, the teacher was sharing a quote about Cary Grant, and Cary Grant was asked, "How did you become such a wonderful actor? How are you so good?" And he said, "I saw myself as who I could be, and I acted like it until I became it." And that quote struck me, and I was thinking about who I wanted to be as a teacher. And I wrote in my notebook, and I said, I want to be able to see what my students can become, and I promise to treat them like that until they become it. And so I wanted to share that with you, because when you're looking at something that hasn't happened yet, and like I can't really see it, I don't know what you're going to be. I just know that God has your future. And so the little things that happened along the way, even when I had to get after you because you weren't being responsible enough, I wanted to remind you my eye was always on that goal. And I was not disappointed in you, because I expected you to be kids, and I expected you to sometimes not study. And so when you have a certain expectation, you can't be disappointed. And it's the same way with God, because Psalm 139:16 says, "You knew me before I was formed. My days of my life are written in your book." Before we were even a blip on the screen of life, God already knew the plan he had for us in place. And so when things like the coronavirus, which is pretty severe, happen, and we go, oh no, we have to remember, no matter what happens, whether it's something that happens to us or something that we do that go, oh man, I made this horrible mistake. God doesn't look and say, oh my gosh, the plan is ruined. Who knew she was going to do that? And he has to remind us that, guys, the book is already written. And all we have to do is ask him, guide me. Okay, so this is really hard for me. Guide me through it. And so I wanted to share with you, when I was about to graduate, I was reflecting on who had been my biggest supporters. Like, you guys know your parents have supported you, and you're like, that they're there cheering for you, even though you can't have that big graduation. And my dad was one of my biggest supporters. And he was actually the one person in my life that said, Kim, you can go back to school. You can do it. You're going to be successful. And so when I was coming to graduate and thinking back that in that span of time that I was going to school, my dad had passed away, and he wasn't going to get to see me walk across that stage. He wasn't going to be there cheering me on. And so I had been praying about that and saying, God, help me handle that. And I received a notice from National University that said, although our ceremonies have always been held in May, forever, always been held in May, circumstances have occurred and we're going to have to change the date. And your graduation day is going to be July 16th, 2000. And I went, because that was my dad's birthday. And so even though my dad wasn't there physically, God was showing me my dad was still there. And God had my heart and had my back. And so it's little things like that we remember, this is what God has done for me. And I know he's going to be able to carry me into the future. And so what I always fall back on is Psalm 27:13, which says, oh, what would become of me if I did not believe I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living? And I just wanted to share that with you guys and remind you, you're going to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That's going to happen. God is pouring blessings out on you right now in the middle of a pandemic. And he's going to carry you to the end. Just be humble enough to ask him for guidance. And so I just wanted to say one quick prayer for you. Lord, will you allow the class of 2020 to have enough rain to fall upon them so that they are strong and that they grow and they learn. But Lord, pour so much sunshine on them that they can't help but look up and be grateful to you for the fact that you're carrying them through. So guys, amen. Keep your eye on the goal. Keep your eye on the goal. Go for it. God has your back. And I'm always here praying for you. I love you guys.